Hey everyone, it's Larry here at LC Model Shipbuilding, and this episode we're going to do the rigging on the USS Olympia. So we're getting close. By the time this video is over, we'll have one more to go, which is basically just some detail work, a couple of the side boats, and stuff like that. So we're really kind of winding our way down here, but thank you very much for tuning in and watching, and let's get started. Okay, so I went ahead and I ran a line here to here, and then I ran one down here to here, and there to there on each side, basically. Now we need one that comes from here down to here, basically on the bridge wing. So I'm just going to, and I'm not going to show every single knot that I tie and all that kind of stuff in this, because one, I don't know how much you can actually see, and two, it just probably would get quite boring. So yeah, so this goes on here, and I'm going along with the string on purpose, but yeah, that's gonna come down to there, and terminate, like, basically I'm gonna make it kind of in between the compass and the railing. So I'll cut that line right there, and again I'm going to end up doing the glue routine, which does seem to be working quite well. It's not necessarily my preferred method of doing this, but it does work, especially on a smaller build. Now that, there we go. Okay, and I'm going to put a little dab on it just to make sure it holds. Pretty sure it will, but just in case. All right, and then we're going to do the exact same thing over on the other side. And you don't want to leave too much slack on that, or you'll have a hard time getting it to tighten up. And what I mean slack is between here and the end of the line with the tweezer. Need more glue. I think my glue is about dried out or empty. It didn't stick. That's annoying. So next up, there's some lines that come from the top down. So I'm going to work on just basically doing the same thing that I've been doing here. So that's essentially it. So I'll be back. Okay, for the bow, I'm going to use a couple pieces of photo etch from Titanic that I have left over. And these are mainly the stays for the lines running from the bow up to the mast. And the real pictures of the ship, it did have very similar stays basically in place. So these will work perfect to do essentially exactly what they did on Titanic. So you just bend it in half. And then there is a small piece of brass that this glues onto. I gotta find one. I think it's on a different sheet. And these will then go right onto the deck, and then your line runs right through them, and it will look pretty much just like it's supposed to. So I'm pretty happy with them. If I can find this other piece here that I'm looking for, and I know I have it, so it might be just a matter that I have to do it off camera because I gotta find it here, and I'm not gonna waste a ton of time while I'm filming because that's boring. Nope. All right, I'm gonna pause it and I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see, well, maybe you can see, I got those in here, and I have another one down in here which is a little bit smaller, and this goes right under the platform, the upper platform. So I'm gonna do that one first because it's the lowest one, and it's just easier to get to the low stuff before the higher stuff is put on. And I'm just tying that to the little piece of plastic that is coming off of that, and yeah, I tied it way early, or got it tight way early. Okay, I don't like that. So I'm going to end up cutting it off right there, and I might end up just using the glue routine again because this one's not holding any kind of weight or anything like that, so it should be fine. All right, let me get some glue on here. Okay, next up we have two that go down here and terminate onto these, and they go from the second highest spot there. So I'm going to do this one first. And this one I am tying, or at least going to attempt to. Now this is a very fragile piece of photo etch, which just came off. So I'm going to have to glue that back on. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, but it's annoying when they come off like that. I gotta get my spray. Maybe I don't. Okay, next up we have one in the same area here. That one, I think I got paint on the hole, so I'm going to tie it around it. You'll never be able to tell, but good. That came off, of course. I was kind of worried about them coming off because I ran into that frequently with Titanic. Like any tension whatsoever basically pulls them off. Come on. It dried instantly. Try this again here. Unfortunately, when you use the adhesive promoter, it kind of sticks around for a minute. Okay, now that is not as tight as I want them to be, so I'm gonna have to try to pull up some slack with the line and glue a little bit, which should not be that hard. Just basically gotta maneuver it so it is coming to a different spot here. Come on. I'm sticking to the bracket with the tweezer. There we go. And now I gotta do the same thing with this one. Just give it a little bit of That's better. Okay, sorry about that. I know this is probably kind of boring at this point, but it must be done. So this is the final one here that comes down to the last spot. This one, I think I'm just going to learn from my last two mistakes and glue it right from the get-go. I have it through the hole there, so I think it'll be perfectly fine. That seems good. Okay. Giddy up. All right, so next up, looking at some other pictures I've seen, there's some tan lines that come down to the funnel, so I am going to include them. and they look good. So yeah, we'll add them. But let me pause it and I'll be back. All right, now we're going to begin our rear mast rigging at this point. So this should, I'm trying to find a nice spot for that to go that's not blocking my light. There we go. This should be very similar to what we've been doing on the forward section here. But truth be told, I took a day or two off and went out of town, so now I feel like I'm like out of practice. Doesn't take long to do that to you, but I'm sure I'll get right back on it, hopefully. So yeah, we're going to get the two lines that come down to the funnel on first, and like I said, they're essentially the exact same thing that we did on the forward mast here. So I need that to cut right about there. And I just want to see where it lands here and if I need to trim it more. And it seems like it will reach okay. So I'm just going to put some glue on the end here. Hopefully get enough on it to make it actually stick. And then we'll hold it on there, and I'll hit it with some accelerator to make it stay quicker. Okay, there we go. So I'll go ahead and do the next one, and then I'm going to go ahead and drop my two outer ropes down here. Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to wait on them. I'm going to work basically from the lower end, because I do need, I think, one or two go up here near the platform. But in any case, I'm going to get the other one of these on. I'll pause it quick, and then I'm going to look at a couple illustrations here, because I do know I need one that comes down from here, basically, actually from here over to here, similar to what we did over here. So I'll do that a while, and then I'll come back after I research a little bit more on what I'm going to do here for this rear section. And I found a lot more pictures and illustrations of the bow side in comparison, but luckily I have some live picture, or not live, but pictures of the real ship from when I was down there last, and I'm pretty sure I have quite a few pictures of the stern section, so I'll be able to look at some of that. Now granted, that's all just standing rigging, so it's not going to do everything for me, so I'm going to have to rely on some pictures as well, but we'll get there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pause it and I will be right back. Okay, so I got my my tan lines down here. I already got these two kind of tied up on here, and they come down to about there. And then we're going to need one up on the top up here as well. That'll come down to the main deck as well. so I'm just going to tie them ahead of time so that I already have it ready to basically go, and we will get them put on. Okay, so now these both are going to, I'm not going to play with trying to tie them on, and I don't want them to actually be connected to a railing. I want them to kind of look like they're coming out of a mount on the deck. So essentially, I'm going to slip the rope. Sorry, I have a toothpick in my mouth. I'm going to slip the rope under the railing there. I'll pull that through, and I want it to land about right there, which actually doesn't work out too bad because there is actually a rail right about there. And I'm just going to kind of pull it and let it tighten up. I'll probably hit it with a little bit of accelerator too. Yep, there we go. And then we'll just cut away our slack, and that's it. And then for the upper one, it's going to basically be the exact same thing, and I want it to land in pretty much the same spot. So I'm going to just go through the exact same location and do the exact same thing. And I just put a little bit of glue on where they connect to, just to kind of hold it a little better. Okay, so I'm going to do that over on the other side then. And looking at the time on where this video is at, I think what's going to end up happening, I'll get the last few lines rigged on here, and then I will probably end up doing yet one more video for the side boats and the flags and just some final details. So that's kind of where we're looking like we're going to end up, is probably one more video after this. Maybe one, I might do another one with the stand too. I don't know, I haven't decided yet what that's gonna look like. Okay, that one I didn't need, yes I did. I didn't think I needed any accelerator. Perfect. So let me cut that. And this one comes down to the same location yet again. And we'll get that glued on. And we'll be about good to go then with these. Okay, let me hit it with the accelerator. All right, now I still need to do the dual lines that come down from our yards here. So for these, I don't know if I showed them on the forward mast. I honestly can't remember. I'm going to tie them around the mast, or the yard midway. And in the center one here, I'm kind of only doing a single, but the outer one I do a double. I don't know if that's right, that's just how I perceive it at this point. So we're going to bring that down to about there, cut it a little bit long on purpose. I want to hit the knot on the yard with a little bit of glue. Okay. And now we're going to do our double on here. Okay, so that will kind of go over top of that. Now I'm going to get all three of them so that they're about the same length and cut them right there. And these are going to basically just tie around the railing. Like that. And how I've been doing these is just a loop and bring it down right on the rail, just like that. And it come out nice. I like it. And just to make sure we don't lose it, we're going to hit some glue on it as well, right on the knot. Then we're just going to trim this off right here and right here. That's it. So those are done. So now I got to do the same thing over on the other side. I'm going to pause it while I'm doing that, and then I'll be right back. But she's getting a pretty good effect to her, I'll say. But yeah, let me pause. I'll be back. Okay, so I got pretty much everything done on the rear mast except for the line that's going to go from here to here and here to there. So we're going to go ahead and do those a minute, and they're very similar to the front ones here, or the foremast, but I'll still film them here basically just to finish out this video. Like I said, we're going to end up with one more for sure, but we're definitely getting pretty close to calling this one a wrap. So I'm pretty excited with how it turned out, though. It's going to be a nice nice little build to have on my desk. So I'm going to try to go through this, but I do remember up on the forward one, I ended up having to just kind of tie it around in glue. But we'll give it a try here, just for the heck of it. That might actually work. The hardest part on this is trying not to get too much tension where I lose my tension on those lines. But I think I'm okay now. So I'm just going to get a little bit of glue on both ends there. Cut that. And then our last one, oh, how that happened. Our last one is going to go from here to here. And I gotta look. It seems weird that there's nothing that goes from mast to mast, but I mean, maybe not. So I'll double check it, but couldn't find anything on any of the pictures that I saw. But like I said, before I finish her, I'll kind of just do a double check of that. I mean, it's not a big deal either way, but anyway, so this is just about our last line here. I'll probably do a little bit of like rigging, running a line on the jack staff for the flag and some stuff like that, just to give a little bit of added detail. But that pretty much will wrap up the rigging anyway. So I'll pause it here, and then I'll kind of show it on the sky backdrop so you can kind of see it, because I know it's not exactly easy to see here on the workbench. But yeah, let me pause it and I'll show it up. Okay, so here you go. You can kind of see basically what we ended up with. Just kind of showing the forward end first, and then you can see our funnel there, and then we got our stern section here with the main mast. So pretty darn happy with it. But thank you very much for watching and tuning in, and please give a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time here on LC Model Shipbuilding.